All right, back again for some more tournament action. We got ourselves a neat little race here. We got the second round of bracket matches. So this isn't round one. Scrimps had a bye round by placing higher in the prelim matches versus Mr. Razio, who won his previous match. And they're doing Lycanthrope as the starting preset. I love Lycanthrope. You love Lycanthrope. We love Lycanthrope. Assuredly. The preset has you starting with the Wolf Relics, and you can go really fast using them, which is really, really fun. So right off the bat, you're basically going to see them utilizing the Wolf movement to both go faster, as well as at the very start of the race, you're going to be seeing a death skip using the Wolf Relics to bypass the death cutscene. So, and it looks like both of these players not having a fantastic Dracula fight, but it's fine. The prologue's not the end of the world. Reminder, if you are watching live, if you're watching live right now, don't forget to use your Garnet coin, your channel points, to predict who you think is going to win between Razio and Scrimps. Honestly, it's kind of a coin flip in my head. I feel like they're both really good in their own way. So, but yeah, this is race number one. It's just now getting started. They have a vomit-colored cape. You love to see it. And Scrimps with a slight lead. Both of them opting to use that wolf movement right here. Neat little tech where you stop your momentum against the cave. Scrimps was able to do it, but Razio didn't. You can stop your momentum by pressing down. If you tap down, you won't actually crash into the cave. And yep, both players getting death skip. You love to see it. Missing out on death skip is a massive disadvantage. You miss out on obviously shield rod, which is a guaranteed decent weapon, especially if you find a good shield. But you also miss out on the Mystic Pendant, as well as a few other relics that increase your intelligence. And the first relic is Leapstone. So 2 minutes in, they already have relatively decent gear. Leapstone is great movement, as well as all of the wolf optimizations. So it'll be interesting to see how these players play from here. Chakram, interesting. I personally wouldn't. Yeah, I like what Razio's doing here. Skipping the check entirely, using Leapstone to just bypass that area. Oh, and Flamberge. So Wolf Rising is a possibility if they want to do some out-of-logic checks with that, but neither of them choose to do it. Interesting. I guess it makes sense. Like, you plan on coming back here later anyways to get to potentially Alrox's quarters. Actually, no, I would do it. I think the correct play is actually to Wolf Rise, and here's why. Because you don't actually want to come back to Alchemy Lab, because you can go all the way through Alrox's quarters and grab the warp anyways, and when Leapstone is your first relic in the progression chain, you oftentimes will check Minotaur Werewolf, the Colosseum, and then immediately go to Castle Keep right afterwards. So if you grab the warp at Alrox, that means you don't have to backtrack through Alchemy Lab anyways. So Scrimps unfortunately getting poisoned, and that slows him down a decent amount. And like, Razio's kind of milking his lead. He was behind at the very start, but now Razio is taking a huge advantage of some fortunate positions here for him. Let's go ahead and listen in on his perspective. He seems to be probably a good like 15 to 20 seconds ahead already, which is 3.5 minutes in, a pretty decent lead. Spaghetti for Scrimps. Yeah, untransforming here is perfectly fine. It's there's a lot of Lycanthrope optimization. Shoutouts to Fire 1520 for spending like half a year coming up with Lycanthrope strats. Because you are always guaranteed to start with the Wolf Relics, and they don't cost that much magic to perform in this preset. Oftentimes, you want to be using Wolf to its like fullest potential. So because of that, Fire developed a ton of Wolf strats, like literally everywhere in the castle. So there's like a ton of like small, tiny baby optimizations, and that makes this preset one of the scarier to race against someone who is like practiced and worked on all of those optimizations. Because the difference between like optimized wolf movement and like okay wolf movement can be pretty big. Another reason why Wolf is fantastic, this entire hallway you can just sprint through. Meanwhile, actually, now that I think about it, didn't I talk about this route that Scrimps is doing, that you go up to Alrox's quarters? I didn't even mention that. Razio opts to not do that route, which I think is kind of a, not a throw necessarily, but not how I personally would handle it. I think what the route Scrimps is doing is better. Razio known to map buffer this trick, which just makes it more consistent. But yeah, that's a way to skip Doppelganger 40. Now, depending on what Scrimps finds here, this could be a big advantage to him. Uh-oh, misses the jump, though. Yeah, you definitely want your Wolf movement on point for this this race. This is tournament race. Ooh, but it's the gas cloud. Interesting. So from here, what does he do? Is he just cutting his losses and now going to outer wall? Because if that's the case, that's a huge mistake. Ooh, and Spikebreaker found. Razio says, nah, I'll grab it later. Fair enough. Oh, Scrimps wants the warp. Yeah, this is why you grab the warp first. The reason why you grab the warp first in this scenario is because it's really fast to grab. In Lycanthrope, you just run through the hallway, run back. And then, if you don't find anything at Coliseum, you then go through Coliseum to Chapel, and then from Chapel, you go up to Castle Keep. And that's like the best way to kind of chase complexity in this preset, because Lycanthrope is minimum complexity 8. We've said it before, the idea of complexity is essentially like you're climbing a ladder. Each rung on the ladder as you climb it is a different relic that unlocks the next step up on the ladder. So for example, they found Leapstone at the very start of the game. Leapstone locks 2 relic locations by itself, which is the Coliseum check, the one that is locked behind Minotaur Werewolf, the Mist check, as well as Leapstone itself. So because of that, oh, Chrysogrim in the shop, PogChamp. Razio bought a few other things. Did he have a diamond or something? Oh, not enough for the Varda, though. But you have a Chrysogrim. Who cares? Chrysogrim and a Vorpal? Sheesh. Yeah, that's enough. You don't need more than that. Getting the Varda on top of that is just greedy. Yeah, Scrimps essentially... Oh, it was an Opal. Got it. Yeah, so Scrimps is basically doing the same route as Razio now, just with an added, like, minute and a half of time loss. Because Razio is going to check Coliseum, but it's going to be more efficient when he goes to check Coliseum, assuming he has flight by the time he does that, which means he can combine Coliseum with the 2 Alrox checks if he wants to. Or he'll just check Coliseum and then go to the warp and then warp somewhere more important. So Razio's route right now is much more efficient. So in my eyes, it feels a little bit better. The idea of going to Coliseum just to do the 1 check and then leaving, then to do outer wall, feels really bad, right? I think Razio had the right idea. If you're not planning on chasing complexity immediately, which, you know, you don't always want to do, sometimes it's better to have like a wide map presence is the term that I've heard in other communities with like randomizers where like gaining map presence actually matters, like unlocking warps or doing checks now so you don't have to do them later in a more efficient way. Stuff like that can end up meaning more than just immediately chasing progression, especially in this preset when your movement options are so like open to begin with. So Razio's probably going to open this warp. Yeah, you want to get this warp. This is what I mean by map presence. Like having this warp active means that like the time you spent to get here is less wasted, even though you didn't find anything important. You don't have to worry about the entire time being wasted, if that makes sense. Plus, you grabbed a Spikebreaker, which is, you know, it's not nothing. It's pretty decent. Yeah, decent start to race 1 for Razio. I'm feeling good. Let's check out that prediction. What are the odds right now? It's about 50-50, which makes sense. In my mind, this was kind of a coin toss between the 2 competitors. So 48% of the points is in on Razio, 52 for Scrimps. This race is by no means over as well. There's a lot of potential for Scrimps to like, he's only about like a minute and a half, 2 minutes behind, which 1 or 2 relic skips is enough for him to get back in this. And this is Lycanthrope. Lycanthrope is one of the presets with a lot of information being given to the players relatively quickly. So because of that, skipping relics is more likely to happen, I feel like. So It'll be interesting to see if and when that happens for these competitors. Ooh, good wolf movement from Razio. Nice. You love to see it. Scrimps did end up getting that Varda. We'll see if that ends up mattering. I doubt it. I mean, Vorpal plus Chrysogrim, with or without a Varda, is plenty strong. It's like the difference between killing a boss in like half a second versus 1 second. Like, oh no. 30 frames wasted. Okay, Razio. Will Razio do the flea ladder is my question. Will he even go for it? Is he someone who's willing to risk it for the swag and the potential to save a lot of time? Ooh, bad pattern, though. Yeah, you kind of have to like... Oh, are you going to set it up again from there? I don't like the idea of trying to set it up multiple times because you're just begging to get owned by bad patterns. Yeah, you have to... There's not enough fleas. You got to let it go. It's going to be gravity boots here anyway, so it doesn't matter. Oh, it's missed, actually. Dude, clockwise would have went hard as heck. Dude, clockwise would have been amazing because then you wolf rise back up and do a full clockwise rotation. Yeah, the route that I was talking about where you do Colosseum into Castle Keep would have went crazy this seed. But it's fine. Razio has the warp, so he's just going to warp to outer wall and check the Soul of Bat location, which is the only location left for him to check. So it's not bad. I see what you're saying, Swarm, where you do the clockwise route, but you just don't... Oh, I like the idea of clicking this switch now because you're on the warp cycle for it. I like that from Razio. Playing it kind of safe. Doesn't get screwed over. The idea of skipping the Alrox warp and just kind of gambling isn't that much of a gamble, especially in this seed if they decided to do the Alchemy Lab checks, like I said. Because then you just have the Alrox warp for later. So, I don't know. I still think getting the Alrox warp is like worth it most of the time. Garnet drop. Is that enough for him to get the Varda now? If so, that's very funny. Yeah, that's enough to get the Varda, actually, if he wants to grab it. Because the Varda was 4K. Garnet's worth 5K. We'll see if he goes back for it. Probably not. He's probably not even thinking about it anymore. He's probably busy thinking about, like, the route. But to be fair, this is the only relic check left, so... Yeah, like I said earlier, very weird seed. Scrimp's not too far behind. Again, I think he might be catching up a little bit, but still, like, the lead is pretty big for Razio, though. It's all going to depend on when he goes to Colosseum, though. Library card for free. Into Jewel of Open. Yeah, Jewel of Open was probably... It was either going to be Jewel of Open or, like, Flight, I guess. But that makes sense. So let's look at let's count complexity right now. We're looking at, that was layer 3, so they're on layer 4 now. Razio is. It was Leapstone into Mist into Jewel of Open. So far a pretty linear seed. Nothing too crazy. Oh, that is a good point. Yeah, Silver Ring is on the same layer as all of Caverns. That's a rough decision. What's Scrimps doing? He's choosing to do Alchemy Lab right now with Wolf Rising. Brother, you have a thrust sword if you wanted to use that. Okay, so when you go through a screen transition while you're Wolf Rising, you just have to be patient. Just know the screen transition is going to like delay your inputs. So just take a breath. During the screen transition, you could even buffer the next transformation that you need. During the screen transition, you're like, no need to freak out and just mash the buttons. Just don't mash the buttons. I really don't agree with Scrimps' play here. Like, you know there's only one relic left in Logic. Why would you go out of your way to do a bunch of out of Logic checks? Like, are you hoping to snipe the Flight? Like, I really don't understand the idea. The only punish is if Razio goes down into the caverns and finds nothing, and the correct play is that Silver Ring happens to have flight. You know what I mean? If you're going to do this, at least do the thrust attack version from the platform. It's faster. Oh, my God. Yeah, Scrimps, you're doing it way too fast. You have to slow down. You're also losing all of your mana. Scrimps, you don't mash it. Don't mash. Because you're not gaining as much height as you could be. The idea of gaining height through Wolf Rising is you don't want to gain height by the mist pushing you upwards. You want to gain height from the wolf transformation itself, because the wolf transformation itself bumps you up when you finish the transformation animation. Like, that's the point. He also has a thrust sword. It's so much easier with a thrust sword. Just set it up from the backwards platform and then thrust across. You don't even need extra height at that point. Like, if you're... Okay, the reason why I'm being so critical is, like, if your game plan is, I'm going to Wolf Rise, and you don't know the proper Wolf Rising technique, I feel like it's kind of a bad play, right? Like, all of your mana was wasted in that, and you didn't even make it up there. You know what I mean? Like, this is just a bad play. And he's giving up, too, which is just awful. Like, it's just not good. It's just not good. I really am not a big fan of that. If that's like a panic decision, like, oh my God, I'm tournament nerves, that's understandable. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, right? This is meant to be like criticism such that, like, we're not trying to be mean. We're trying to understand why in the moment something like that is just not a good idea. I also just disagree with the route decision in general. I think Razio at the very least has a better idea, or he's at least maximizing his odds of finding something good, right? Where meanwhile, Scrimps is like backtracking through Alrox's quarters. I don't know. It just doesn't feel great to me. Razio also finds the out of logic flight location, the Succubus position. The Succubus had the Ring of Vlad, so just Razio in a fantastic position overall. And he finds Gravity Boots. So that was basically Scrimps' only, like, win con, I guess, from this point to, like, not be minutes, like, multiple minutes behind, was Razio not finding Flight down here, and he finds Flight immediately. So it's rough. I have a movement tutorial, Yak, that probably covers Wolf Rising. I think if you just type ! movement. But Wolf Rising is very simple. You want to minimize the time you're in mist form and then immediately transform into wolf. Ideally, it's 1 frame. That way, the mist animation doesn't eat any of your magic. You transform into wolf, and then the wolf will bump like up at the end of the transformation, and then you transform into mist again. You could also hold the jump button so that way you fall slower in case you mess up the timing. That's another, like, trick to help out, to make it more lenient. It's not necessarily faster if you do it that way, but it prevents you from losing height as quickly. You know, like, Razio's about to clear the entire caverns. Meanwhile, Scrimps is just now finding Jewel of Open. I feel like he just panicked. It might have just started from the beginning of the seed where he went to Colosseum and then left. Like, that might have just put him on edge. Razio didn't save split? What are you... Oh, he has Gravity Boots. I forgot. Never mind. He doesn't need to save split. I thought he didn't have a way up the waterfall. No, he's good. I forgot he already grabbed Gravity Boots. Yeah, I guess Scrimps is just feeling tilted and is, like, just going for stuff that he's not comfortable with. Like, especially in a tournament setting. Oh! Razio, grab it. Second library card? Nice! Razio with 2 library cards. You love to see it. Like, if you have tournament nerves or you're frustrated or you're playing on tilt, like, and you start going for stuff you're not comfortable with, that's just, in general, kind of a bad move. Like, you don't want to put yourself in a scenario where you're forced to perform whilst you're also feeling intense, like, emotions, right? Like, if you're feeling nervous or if you're feeling, like, more so angry, right? If you're frustrated or angry, like, you're just going to perform worse. Nerves is normal, though. Like, having a small amount of nerves is normal. Yeah, I definitely recommend... If Scrimps makes it into further rounds of this tournament, he definitely is going to want to practice, like, Wolf Rising, because that could be huge. Like, his route wasn't necessarily, like, the worst idea ever. He was trying to skip higher into complexity by doing a few things. I personally would have used the Thrust Sword to do that on the first time that you entered the caverns, the Alchemy Lab, because that was possible. But instead, he decided to backtrack through Alchemy Lab a second time and then not even fully clear it. Like, the decision-making just wasn't there, right? Meanwhile, Razio is kind of just chilling, right? Like, Razio's just, like, cruising through, no problems. He has library cards, so he can escape this place very easily if he wants to. He has 2. He has money to buy that Varda if he still wants it. Razio without no save split. Oh yeah, Spike Breaker, he's fine. He can check. I was gonna say this low of health trying to do the Dark Wolf strat is a little tricky, but he also refilled all of his health and he's fine. He also has Spike Breaker, so all is good. Scrimps, probably with this many mistakes early on, he'll probably skip Merman, right? If Scrimps decides to skip Merman, that's a little bit of time back for him because it was a familiar card. So, like I said, Scrimps isn't like totally out of this. He's behind by a lot, but a few key relic skips could be enough to bring him back, and he's not afraid to skip relics for sure. He's definitely a player who is not afraid to skip some stuff. And to be fair, that is the correct play, right? If you play early game and you make some big mistakes, you need to play to your outs. Ooh, nothing at Grand Falloon. So if Scrimps does decide to skip Merman and Grand Falloon, both are pretty popular choices for skipping relics, then he's going to be just fine. Yeah, if you're Scrimps, you have to play to your outs, which is you got to skip some stuff to make up time. Unless you're also just hoping that Razio is making mistakes as well, right? Because those are your 2 options. When you make a big mistake and you know it's a mistake while you're playing Randomizer, you have 2 options. You either say, okay, my opponent is also making mistakes, so I'm still in it. I'm just going to stick to my game plan. Or you say, damn it, I made a mistake, so I need to make up this time with something else, right? I should, like, skip something. So, we'll see how Scrimps decides to do it. Because if he just, like, checks everything slowly, he's in trouble. Tooth of Vlad, that's likely final Vlad relic, right? I think that's a pretty easy call. They haven't found Echo yet. They haven't found Bat yet. So that's likely the deepest complexity Vlad. So we'll see. Razio, you buying that Varda?
What can I do for you?
I think he's buying that Varda, guys.
I'm interested in this.
Oh, there's mana prisms in the shop too. Never mind. Yeah, I think multiple mana prisms is probably better than a Varda when you have Vorpal plus Chrysogram. Yeah, it was a good shop for sure. And they had a decent amount of money to take advantage of it as well. Ooh, Scrimps taking a quick bath. Now the question is, does he go down? No, he doesn't do the skip. Wow. I'm surprised. Oh no! Razio! He did the day 1! Oh. He lost his second library card because he forgot that it was still equipped. I've done that so many times. It's infuriating every time. This might be actually what Scrimps needs. If Razio starts playing on tilt now, and making some big mistakes, Scrimps could take advantage of that. He needs to start skipping some stuff, but we'll see. I can understand why he won't, though. He probably feels like a little too nervous to do any big skips right now because it's like, oh, if I miss a Vlad relic, I just lose anyways. But it's really hard when you make a mistake to be like confident, like, no, okay, I made the mistake, but I'm still going to like try and like make it work, if that makes sense. Did Scrimps at least do a save split here? If he's going to do all of this, I hope he at least save split. Razio about to do the entrance checks as well. Let's see it. It's nothing. I hope you save split. Scrimps, no! No save split! Oh, man. I mean, it's not that much time loss, but... Ooh, save split there would have been kind of nice. Because they were both garbage. I mean, Razio's doing the checks as well, so it's not like Scrimps is, like, getting baited necessarily, because they're both doing all of the checks. It's tough. I'm trying to even think how Scrimps comes back here. I guess left side, second castle, assuming Razio doesn't do left side, but... Like, Scrimps needs to make an executive decision to save the time back that he missed, so... By the way, that was Razio's stream. He just got a Discord notification. It wasn't you guys, it was Razio. Not in streamer mode? Razio, really? Check my Discord out. Yeah, it always happens. He just got a DM from somebody saying, lol, Scrimps is throwing, you got this, homie. Picking up the fairy scroll. Unorthodox, but Scrimps probably needs to know the names of the enemies because he likes to get personal when he kills something, so he wants to know the name. You DM'd him saying Scrimps is about to win? Okay, got you. Got you. Fair. For everybody watching on YouTube, this is a joke, by the way. We're joking. If you're watching on YouTube, by the way, you're already like 30 minutes into a race video for Symphony of the Night Randomizer. You should subscribe so that way you can see more of these in the future. It would help me out a lot. And you can also watch live on twitch.tv/DragonBlitz. So you can go in the Twitch chat and make funny jokes. Scrimps isn't skipping anything? Really? Wow. I really would have thought that Scrimps was a player when push comes to shove that he would start skipping stuff. But I guess not. Oh, we also confirmed that there was nothing in Alchemy Lab. Razio confirms that there's nothing that important in Alchemy Lab, so at the very least, if Scrimps decides to skip that, then he's safe. That's like 100% the next Vlad relic, or the next progression relic, right? So now the question is, do you grab the warp first, or do you check this first? I would check it first. Because it feels like the same amount of backtracking whether you grab the warp first or grab the relic first. So I would just check the relic first. But because like going to the caverns from that position is not very far. You just go down, ride the boat, come back up. And you're probably going to have to do that anyways, right? Because Razio doesn't have any library cards anymore. So we'll see. Skip it and check Silver Ring first. Silver Ring isn't high complexity, though, in this seed. Silver Ring is on the same layer as everything that's in the caverns, and inside the caverns was Flight. So Silver Ring is not a complexity check. It's not going to lead to anything important. At best, it'll be a random Vlad. Interesting. Yeah, he's just gonna do all the checks, I guess. That's fair. Did Scrimps find the second library card? I don't think so, right? He used one and then he had an empty hand. Yeah, unfortunate. That was another way for him to maybe save some extra time finding that second library card. He even did the checks, the merman statue check, so he had the potential to find it. When you're falling down the waterfall, you should be doing those item checks, probably, right? Well, I guess it's lycanthrope, like it's hard to move the wolf midair, so maybe not. It's understandable. I don't necessarily blame him for that. It's just unfortunate. It would have been nice if he had it. Wait, if he wasn't in wolf form and he just dive kicked, then he's a dummy. He should just, you always do those checks. It's not faster to dive kick. Like that's kind of a throw. If you're in wolf form, you can't move the wolf midair very well, so I understand skipping those checks because it is optimal to stay in wolf form that entire time. But if he was already in human form and he just dive kicked off the side, that's a throw. However, Fire of Bat, so Razio... Scrimps' win condition is hoping Razio forgets that Fire of Bat is a location. Yo, is that the Holy J? Love to see it. Yeah, it's like 90% the glasses is at Holy Symbol location, right? Unless it's the complexity ring and then the rando ring is flight locked or something, or the rando ring is at silver ring. Right? Now Fire of Bat. Oh my god, these Flea Riders are absolutely owning Scrimps right now. Spirit Orb. All right. And last flight location is a random Vlad. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That actually might bait Razio. Actually. He might skip Fire of Bat because of this. Right? Holy Glasses is 100% confirmed at Merman, by the way. Which means that Soul of Bat or Echo is at Holy Glasses, right? Otherwise, there's not enough complexity to get to 8, I think. Oh, Scrimps, no! Why? Why? He's going the wrong way! He's doing the density checks, which is fair. But all of these checks will lead to nothing. If he decided to skip all rocks, he actually was kind of back in it. He has more Vlad relics. He would have gotten glasses first. There's potential there. Let's see what Razio does from here. He finds his random Vlad. He's probably going to warp back to Alrox's quarters, grab the glasses, and then it's going to come down to whether or not Razio thinks that Fire of Bat is worth checking. He's looking at the map. He's thinking about it. He's going to go into the warp room or not. He's going to save split it. Interesting idea. I think it's technically possible that glasses are on the same layer as Merman, right? That's his thought process, is like, oh, it could be glasses somewhere else. It could also technically be both from his perspective. He doesn't know that Fire of Bat is like a must check. He's going from here. He's going to find glasses. The question is, what does he do after he finds glasses? Left side is looking actually quite viable for Scrimps if he decides to do it. If he does, because like you have Mist, Power of Mist, you have Full Flight. You don't have Bat, which kind of sucks, but other than that, you're doing just fine. Yeah, Scrimps is still in this. It could come down to just one big gamble. Oh, you didn't even save anywhere? Scrimps just did the entirety of Alrox's quarters, found nothing, didn't save. He's just stranded out here. Rough. It's rough for you, boy. Where are you going? You didn't open the Coliseum. Oh, he's going to go check that he skipped an alchemy lab. Yeah. All right, everybody. The wolf is running down the stairs. Whee! Okay. At least that's fun. Lycanthrope does make that movement a lot of fun. Buffalo Star. Why are they called Buffalo Stars, chat? Are they made out of buffalo? Are buffaloes ninjas? Like canonically in this universe? It's their flavor? They're buffalo, like they're hot, they're spicy? Because if that made sense, wouldn't the Flame Stars then be Buffalo Stars? Buffalo, New York is where they're training the ninjas in the Symphony of the Night universe? All right. Well, from this position, Razio actually has some good options here. If he goes to Outer Wall from here, he might as well check Fire of Bat. Because, well, it's still faster, actually, I think, to go the other way. It's known that it's faster to go back through the caverns into the mines. That warp is faster to get to. Regardless, Razio, I think, is playing it safe and is going to be checking Fire of Bat here. As long as Razio checks Fire of Bat, he is safe going into the second castle. Scrimps, on the other hand, honestly not that far behind, actually. Hold up. If Scrimps had the second library card, dude. If Scrimps had the second library card, I think he would be ahead right now, funny enough. Turns out, in the end, this is pretty close. I do find it interesting that Scrimps went about the relic collection in the later part of the seed. Like he covered his ass pretty well, all things considered. So he made a few mistakes early on, but like he didn't skip anything, but his routing afterwards was fine. Like he combined a lot of things. And it also helps that Razio is also checking everything. If Razio had skipped one or two things, I think this would already be just Jover. Like Razio would just have like a massive lead, but oh, never mind. It's Jover. Man. Anyone who bet on Razio is definitely not happy about that. I don't understand. If you're going to go this way anyways, why go to Outer Wall at all? It's faster to go through caverns to get to a warp. If all of you're trying to do is get to a warp so you can go to the end, go through caverns. Oh, we all got baited, bro. Well, Scrimps is definitely winning this now. Scrimps just needs to find one. Okay, Scrimps is listening to his own music. Got it. So we can't listen in on Scrimps' side. He must not have read that I said to mute music, but whatever. It's fine. The only way is if Scrimps gets super baited, checks everything, the final Vlad is at Galamoth, and Razio somehow decides to go back to the first castle? Maybe he gets a library card and says, oh shit, I should go back. Yeah, I really do think that him using his second library card, brother, you need that. Go back, you need that. Oh my god, Soul of Bat immediately too. Wow. Yeah, Scrimps doesn't have the glasses on his tracker. That's really weird. I wonder why. Bro, this is so sad. Razio, you're gonna need to, like, sixth sense your way into believing. Bro, you have the Soul of Bat! What are you doing? I know you just got it, like, and you've been playing the seed for 40 minutes without it. Yeah, use the Soul of Bat. It's good. It's really good. Yeah, Razio had a real sizable lead. The only thing, though, is that Scrimps does feel very far behind. So, if the final Vlad Relic is at, like, I don't know, like Beelzebub or Trio, and Scrimps does do left side, I imagine if you're Scrimps, you feel behind, right? Because he is technically behind. So the question is, if Scrimps does left side and Razio finds the second to last Vlad first, or I guess technically it's the last Vlad first, maybe there's still a chance. He also is going to need to find a random library card, I think. Maybe Scrimps will go left after finding Soul of Bat. I mean, he's doing the fight first. I don't know. Especially if you're so thorough in the first castle and you find a lot of nothing, right? A lot of blank checks. Oh, Scrimps is doing it. Of course he's doing it. All right. All right. Left side it is. With no warp. That actually might be Razio's win con. The fact that Scrimps doesn't have the warp back to Castle Keep. To be fair, Scrimps doesn't need to go back to the first castle, but having the warp back to Castle Keep can be useful when you're done with Galamoth. So, or Scrimps could also die somehow, maybe. So we need last Vlad Relic to be at Trio or Beelzebub, I think, for Razio to still win this. Razio remembers that he spent $45 million on mana prisms. Razio did not open reverse keep teleporter. He's going to need a library card, straight up. He needs another library card. Maybe the 3 item checks on the way to Trio, he does that, and there's a library card there. There's not very many item checks left in the second castle. That's kind of his last chance, I think, right? Did Scrimps buy mana prisms when he went back to the library? It doesn't look like it. And Razio doesn't do the item checks either. Well... This is kind of rough for both of them, right? Nothing at creature. Who would have thought? Wait, what? Creature with no relics? Come on. In my randomizer? Oh! It's probably nothing. Unless? Wait. Is it possible? Let's do some counting. Leapstone? The Rando Vlad could be at glasses, right? Because Leapstone, Mist, Jewel of Open, Gravity Boots, Merman, Glasses, Echo, Final Vlad. So the rings are actually nothing, which means they can be a random Vlad. Otherwise, it's 9 complexity. So either it's 9 complexity and the rings lead to Echo, or it's 8 complexity and either Glasses has nothing or Glasses has a random Vlad. And Raz, you didn't pick up the fucking ring! Why don't you at least pick it? Just pick it up! Just pick it up! You're banking so hard that the only 2 relics that exist are in the second castle? I don't understand that logic! Like, there are more things that could happen. Both rings! Both! Back to back! So, we're going to find out soon if Scrimps wins. Because left side might be best side. Or the random Vlad is at Holy Glasses. Which would be so fucking funny. So it's either the last 3 locations that are unknown to us. Ring of Fenor, nice. Is Death, Galamoth, and Holy Glasses. If we find Echo at Death or Galamoth, we know what happened. Man, what a seed. What can I say? I feel like this is a good lesson to learn about random Vlads and how they are random. And maybe it's not like, it's good to have like a mental map of like, okay, this is likely this is likely this, but don't like completely burn all possible bridges, right? Like, Razio, essentially, the only reason Razio is, like, 100% losing this is because he burned all possible bridges to go back to the first castle. He said, no, it cannot be in the first castle, and if it is, I will just lose. Meanwhile, Scrimps is doing dumb shit and getting rewarded. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Oh, I wanted the random Vlad so bad to be at Glasses, right? He could still die. Scrimps could maybe die. I doubt it. Well, on the bright side, Scrimps still would have won because of left side. So maybe it didn't matter, actually, that Razio skipped that Vlad, Because left side is just too powerful. What is that buzzing noise? What the fuck? Did you guys hear that? No, it was just me. That was weird. Maybe I have dementia. I don't know. Yeah, so at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Razio was losing this anyways because of left side, so it'd be like that. This should be an easy GG's. I mean, you got so much firepower. Chrysogrim, Vorpal, whatever. It doesn't matter. Razio's probably pretty tilted with how this is ending, but he played well. What can I say? He played well for like the first 70% of the seed. It's just that, you know, left side gamble is really powerful. And missing out on a Vlad Relic. But to be fair, the math was in his favor that both Vlad Relics would just be in the second castle. Skipping the rings, however, feels a little weird to me, but... And also skipping out on any insurance policy, you know what I mean? Like, that feels weird. It feels like an oversight. Scrimp should one cycle, right? Oh, very easily one cycles. GG's. Scrimps. Taking the first match. And a lot of people are losing a lot of money on this one. Who's the biggest winner? Project Omega. Gambled 60,000 Garnet coins. Big money. All right. We'll have these players set up for race number 2. Razio will figure it out eventually, I'm sure. But in the meantime, we'll set up. I don't know if they're actually doing a race number 2 now that I think about it. I think they said they were only doing 1 because Razio is like tight for time, if I remember correctly. So let me figure that out real quick as Razio finds this. Hiya, Vlad. Yay. All right, as it turns out, Razio actually is out of time and cannot do another race. So it's just the one race for today. It was a lot of fun. GG's to Scrimps, up 1-0 in the set. I can't believe... YouTube, please don't demonetize me. Mrs. Razio on the other end, he forgot to mute his mic. Anyways, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Join the live stream. All that fun stuff. See you later, YouTube. Bye-bye.